Chicago School architecture, the style that built modern cities. Picture this, it's 1871, and the Great Chicago Fire has reduced 4 square miles of the city to ashes. But from this devastation came something revolutionary. A new architectural style that would forever change how we build cities. Welcome to the story of Chicago School architecture, the movement that gave birth to the modern skyscraper. The Chicago School emerged in the late 19th century, roughly between 1875 and 1910. With land prices soaring and technology advancing, architects faced a unique challenge: how to build upward efficiently. What they created was an entirely new architectural philosophy that prioritized function, structural honesty, and commercial practicality, characteristics of Chicago architecture. Steel frame construction. The most revolutionary feature is the steel skeleton frame. Before this, buildings relied on thick masonry walls for support, which drastically limited height. Chicago School architects pioneered steel frames that carried the entire building load, allowing walls to become curtain walls, protective skins rather than structural supports. This innovation made tall buildings practical for the first time. The Chicago window. The most recognizable feature is the Chicago window, a large fixed central pane, flanked by 2 smaller operable windows. The large center provided maximum natural light for office workers, while side windows allowed ventilation. This became so iconic that spotting one is the quickest way to identify Chicago School influence. Look for these 3-part windows arranged in horizontal bands across facades. Tripartite, vertical organization. These buildings follow a clear 3-part structure, like a classical column. The base features heavier detailing and houses retail or entrances. The middle shaft contains repetitive office floors with Chicago windows. The top features a projecting cornice or decorative roofline. This division makes buildings easy to read from street level. Horizontal emphasis and terracotta. Despite being tall, these buildings emphasize horizontal lines through continuous window bands. Terracotta became the preferred decorative material. It was fireproof, lightweight, and moldable. Architects used it for decorative bands and cornices, while maintaining structural efficiency. Minimal ornamentation. Chicago School architects embraced form follows function, a phrase by Sullivan. Unlike Victorian architecture, these buildings celebrated their structural systems. The exterior honestly expressed the interior, rows of offices and efficient circulation. Decoration accentuated rather than disguised the building's purpose. Asterisk, iconic examples. The Reliance Building, 1895, by Daniel Burnham, showcases the Chicago window at its finest. This 14-story structure features extensive glass curtain walls and terracotta cladding, appearing remarkably modern even today. Its tripartite organization and minimal ornamentation make it a textbook example. The Carson Pirie Scott Building, 1899 to 1904, by Sullivan demonstrates how ornamentation can enhance function. While the upper floors follow strict Chicago School principles with horizontal bands of windows, Sullivan added elaborate cast iron ornament at the base. Decoration could complement structural honesty. The Marquette Building, 1895, by Hupp and Roach perfectly illustrates steel frame construction with its Chicago windows creating rhythmic horizontal bands. Its simple, efficient design prioritized natural light and ventilation for office workers, embodying the movement's practical philosophy. Impact on modern architecture. The influence on today's architecture is profound. Every glass and steel skyscraper owes a debt to these pioneers. Steel frame construction became the global standard. From New York to Dubai, steel skeletons support virtually every modern skyscraper. The curtain wall evolved into today's glass facades, creating transparent towers impossible with traditional methods. Form follows function became a cornerstone of modernist architecture. Architects like Mies van der Rohe took this further, creating the international style. Today's architectural education still emphasizes functional integrity and structural honesty concepts from 140 years ago. Contemporary buildings continue using tripartite organization and horizontal windows because these strategies remain practical. Modern architects balance efficiency with aesthetics in ways that echo Chicago school principles. The Chicago school, Provedthanamarkal architecture, could be beautiful and functional. That innovation could drive aesthetic expression, and the Chudis could grow vertically with quality. Next time you're downtown, look up. You're surrounded by descendants of those revolutionary Chicago buildings, still shaping how we live and work today.